All right, primetime national address followed by a personal visit. That's the plan from President Trump, really sparing no effort, at least to try to rally support for his border wall proposal, which, of course, has been a sticking point in ending a government shutdown now in its third week. The president tonight speaks directly to the American people from the Oval Office. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, and it comes ahead of a visit he has planned to the U.S.-Mexico border on Thursday. Here now is the judge, Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst, host of The Liberty File on Fox Nation.
You have to come on with us.
On The Liberty File, I'd be happy to.
So they're long-form, in-depth interviews, 15 minutes long.
Is that right?
Yes.
We'll do that sometime.
Do you think I could pepper you with questions for 15 minutes?
You could pepper you, and I wouldn't be afraid of that. I'd have to get a lawyer, actually, before appearing. Now, let me ask you, speaking of getting a lawyer, about this debate that's been going on in the country about whether the president, if he so chooses, and the reporting seems to be that he won't at least do it in the speech tonight, but if he so chooses, could declare a national emergency to get around Congress and fund his wall.
Well, it depends what he tries to do. If he declares a national emergency and uses the emergency powers to streamline the government to get existing government assets to the border, he can do that. But if he believes that the declaration of an emergency would allow him to spend money that Congress hasn't authorized or to take private property for public use that Congress hasn't authorized, I think the courts will stop him. The reason I believe that is because in a similar case in 1952, I realize this was 66 years ago, but it's still the law of the land. The Supreme Court stopped Harry Truman from doing so.
From nationalizing the steel industry at the time.
During a war, during the Korean War.
The Korean War was going on, and Truman says, I want to take over the steel industry because they're going to go on strike.
They were on strike. 500,000 members of the United Steelworkers of America went on strike, and they needed ammunition for the American troops in Korea. The Supreme Court said that's not a basis for the emergency declaration. You need Congress behind you.
Now, there are historical kind of precedents for declaring national emergency. There are, by the way, for people who don't know, I think there are 31 national emergencies right now. So there are, and they're for various things. But over the years, some of them haven't been our proudest moments. For example, FDR's internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. I know others have been for items that you don't agree with philosophically. President Bush after 9/11, expanding powers of interrogation and what have you. So
and surveillance.
Surveillance. So though the president does have kind of a wide kind of authority sometimes to use this, and has in the past. Those were held up.
A lot of them were held up. But it is clear that there's two things he can't do on his own. He can only do it with Congress. One is to spend money, because the Constitution specifically says no money shall be drawn from the public treasury other than as authorized by Congress and published in the Journal. And the other is to take over private property, because eminent domain requires paying for it. So one of the president's strongest supporters, Congressman Will Hurd, ex-CIA, conservative Republican congressman from Texas, whose district has 840 miles of the proposed wall in it. He's against the wall. He's basically not in my backyard. Has said, I don't think he knows this, but most of this property is owned by conservative Republican ranchers. He's going to have to take this by eminent domain. You can't do that overnight. Each one of those people gets a trial on the fair market value of their property, because when the government takes property, it always lowballs.
Sure. Now, that is interesting that Will Hurd is against it. Judge, good to see you, and we'll talk to you soon.